Okay, so firstly, I'm going to introduce you the Hemingway's iceberg theory. This one was presented by him in 1923. We can also say about his theory that Hemingway's iceberg theory highlights the symbolic implication of art. He makes use of physical action to provide an interpretation of the natures of man's existence. It can be convincingly proved that, while representing human life through fictional forms, he has consistently set man against the background of his world and universe to examine the human situation from various points of view. As we could see later, Hemingway's stories, especially this, was created in order to analyze society, is a critical view about how our necessities and needs and desires are changing through time. At the same time, as we can comprehend, the reader is the person who is in charge of discovering and filling all the empties left by the writer. Besides, Gina Bloom in The Other at Work in 2013, she's a critic, said, Hemingway said that only the tip of the iceberg showed in fiction. Your reader will see only what is above the water, but the knowledge that you have about your character that never makes it into the story acts as the bulk of the iceberg. And that is what gives your story weight and gravitas. We can understand this as a negotiation, it's a kind of negotiation, because is all the information left by the writer, and at the same time is how much the reader can take from. It's a negotiation between knowledge, how much knows the reader and how much left the writer. Finally, Hemingway criticized all those writers who don't have enough ability to use this theory properly, because when they do it and they don't have enough information, they are going to make the reader lost or even confused. So he said the following: if a writer of prose knows enough of what he's writing about, he may omit things that he knows, and the reader, if the writer is writing truly enough, will have a feeling of all things as strongly as though the writer had stated them. The dignity of movement of iceberg is due to only 1/8 of it being above water. A writer who omits things because he does not know them only makes hollow places in his writing. As we could see in Hemingway's story, there are many details that were not told by him. Nonetheless, we can predict the story, and we can follow the line. We can understand better what he wanted to do. Once we've understood at least a little bit better Hemingway's theory, we're going to try to deal with his characters. This is well known in literature as synesthesia. In order to the aforementioned, there are three main characters, especially the first one, an old deaf man. Then we have a young waiter, along with a mature waiter, and optionally, the old deaf man's niece. What we can say about them? Well, the old deaf man was about 80, he was deaf, he lived alone, he was solitary, he had money, but he was alcoholic and depressive. So once he tried to commit suicide, but he was rescued by his niece. The second character is the young waiter. He's extremely energetic, he lives in a hurry, he's married because he has a family, he's interested in money, he lives casually, he's confident but mistrust. The third character is the mature waiter. He is the opposite of his partner because he's calm, he's unconfident, he's a little bit shy. He also lives solitary as the old deaf man, but is kind and has clear thoughts. Well, clear thoughts because he understands that what the old deaf man is living will have to be lived by him. And well, finally, as I already told you, the fourth character, the old deaf man niece, is optional because some critics stated that they don't know if she was worried for his soul, I mean his uncle's soul, but hers. Right now, I'm going to read some fragments of the story, from the story, and well, we're going to try to analyze and understand a little bit better what Hemingway said. It was very late and everyone had left the cafe except an old man who sat in the shadow, the leaves of the tree made against the electric light. Well, this is attached to the old deaf man who was solitary. So he is trying to describe the environment to illustrate us. Second, the two waiters inside the cafe knew that the old man was a little bit drunk, and while he was a good client, they knew that if he became too drunk, he would leave without paying, so they kept watch on him. So this is a characteristic of the second character, the young waiter. As I already told you, he mistrusts others a lot. He was all the time watch them out. And well, the third. Last week he tried to commit suicide, one waiter said. Why? He was in despair. What about? Nothing. How do you know it was nothing? He was plenty of money. Well, this is the response of the second waiter, of the first waiter, the young. As he is young as a stallion, he thinks everything can be solved with money. The fourth. They sat together at a table that was close against the wall near the door of the cafe and looked at the terrace where the tables were all empty except where the old man sat in the shadow of the leaves of the tree that moved slightly in the wind. The fifth. He'll stay all night, he said to his colleague. I'm sleepy now. I never get into bed before 3 o'clock. He should have killed himself last week. Well, this is another comment from the first waiter, the young one. As I already told you, he's living in hurry, so he only wants to get home. He doesn't care about others. You should have killed yourself last week, he said to the deaf man. The old man motioned with his finger a little more. He said. The waiter poured on into the glass so that the brandy sloped over and ran down the stem into the top saucer of the pile. Thank you, the old man said. The waiter took the bottle back inside the cafe. He sat down on the table with his colleague again. Well, at this scene, the young waiter is pouring alcohol to the old deaf man. Finished, he said, speaking with that omission of syntax stupid people employ when talking to drunken people or foreigners. No more tonight. Close now. Again, this is the first waiter. He's tried to take the old deaf man out, because as I already told you as well, he only wanted to get home and sleep. Another fragment is, the old man stood up, slowly counted the saucers, took a leather coin purse from the pocket and paid for the drinks, leaving half a peseta tip. The waiter watched him go down the street, a very old man walking unsteadily but with dignity. Here is almost the end of the story, because the old deaf man is going out from the bar, from the cafe, sorry, from the cafe. Next fragment. We are of the two different kinds, the older waiter said. He was now dressed to go home. It is not only a question of youth and confidence, although those things are very beautiful. Each night I am reluctant to close up because there are maybe someone who needs the cafe. This is the thought of the major waiter, because he understood that the cafe was necessary for the old deaf man. Next one. Some lived in it and never felt it, but he knew it all was nada. It was nada, y nada, it was nada, or nada, who art in nada, nada be nada thy kingdom, nada thy will be nada in nada, as it is in nada. Give us this nada or daily, nada and nada us, or nada as we, nada our nadas, and nada us, not into nada, but believer us from nada, pues nada hail nothing, full of nothing, nada it is with there. This is a dialogue from the major waiter. He's talking to himself, and he's telling that life is a complete nothing. When dying, we cannot take material things. We only die, and that's all. And that's the end of this part of the presentation. Well, to conclude with this part of the presentation, some critics and experts have said that the three main characters are the same man. I mean, those are a person living three different stages in life. The first is a hurry man who wants to take everything. The other is a calm who have lived enough and is calm because he understands that life possibly does not have anything else for him. And the other, the old deaf man, is someone who only wants to die because he couldn't find sense in life.